Hello, legends. Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas Eve, everybody. Let's analyze the situation here for the price of Bitcoin. But first of all, of course, we'll be going through the comment section. Okay. Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic, legends. You're doing well. We're going to say hello to the beautiful community first of all. Okay. It is the 24th. Tomorrow, 25th. We'll probably skip tomorrow. The markets are closed anyway tomorrow, but today had to be done, right? It had to be done. Let's say hello to the beautiful community here. Beth Maria Vallejos, King, much love to you. Beth Maria, hope you're doing well. Hope you have a fantastic Christmas Eve to everybody, not only to you. Much love and happiness for you and your loved ones. Same to you. Merry Christmas. Zach, how are you doing? Hello, Andy. Happy Cheetah. How are you doing? Much love. Andy is the only one live today. Mad respect to Bitcoin Census. Much love, my man, ALJR. Much love to you. Yeah, we're going to do probably a shorter live stream. It ain't going to be 4 hours. I don't think that the market, it is open. I'm not sure if it's open partially. I think market's closed. New York open. It closes early today, if I'm not mistaken. I know it's closed tomorrow and the 1st of January. But we need to discuss this, guys. We need to discuss this. I'm actually losing a little bit of hope based on the information that we get here, guys, on a Santa rally. Okay. I think these lows are going to be lost. It had to be said. It had to be said. So this whole thing of coming to 90k, it would have been nice to see a solid impulse and a solid correction and a move up, but man, ain't looking too great. So I'm actually still in the trade. I did not get stopped out from that trade long position that we mentioned yesterday at the golden pocket. That played out really nicely. I mean, it was a bounce of $1,500 or so. I did take some profits. I think I have a little bit of high expectations here for this to be a swing trade to get above 90k. It's not looking that great. We need to be aware of the structure here. There's really nothing impulsive here to believe that this is like the correction that comes up to the highs. Everything's very three wavy, very corrective price action, overlappy. So to believe that the price is going to actually, move successfully to the upside from here is, it's having a little bit of hope, that is for sure. So we had our reasons yesterday, we had our levels, but we have to talk about the bearish case scenario. There is a possible impulse fitted in this zone with your stack 1-2s here. I like the WXY idea. It was okay. It was acceptable. We bounced where we needed to bounce. So, yeah, I'm not feeling that confident at the moment, guys. We'll break down the technicals and we'll talk about the intraday local scalping trading setups, as we are going to do every single day on the stream. We are going to try and detect a short position locally and a long position. That's what we're going to do every day, Monday to Friday. Tomorrow is an exception day. Okay, we're not going to do tomorrow, I think. And the 1st of January, guys. But Monday to Friday, we're going to keep it up with long live streams. And we need to detect at least one short and one long on Bitcoin, okay, for the day. And that's the main goal. Obviously, throughout the stream, we're going to break down a little bit of the analysis, higher time frame, zoom in on the lower time frame, and look at the probabilities, the levels, and see if we can find a nice setup. That's what we do. Let's go. Let's go. Andy, Merry Christmas. Power in. Much love to you. Merry Christmas. Let me just go quickly through the comment section. Christmas Eve and Santa on his way. Absolutely. Got mother here always giving love and support. December is not good for swing trades at all. Very true. Very true. We obviously very much aware of this range continuing. It's just going to be choppy. It's going to be moving down, moving up in a very large range. But it's acceptable for day trades and scalps. Yesterday, we talked about that long position. I did take half of the profits, really considering just closing this trade. I'm not giving any, I'm just going to leave it open. For me, it's not worth to leave these, not going to get these profits if we do get a surprise pump. There are some levels of resistance, some levels of support that I want to talk about. This becomes the next interest zone, this box right over here where we got this range right there. So yeah, that's going to be very, very interesting for longs. I'm actually interested in shorts at close levels, guys. Okay, I'm not sure if we're going to manage to get a rally here to claim the local lower highs of yesterday, but that is going to be a little bit of the, I think there is a shorting opportunity in this zone, which we are going to discuss, of course. Right over here, not much volatility, not much to do in my opinion. Okay, I am aware of a little bit of a extended range between today and tomorrow, as the market might not bring volatility today. I would prefer slightly higher levels if I wanted to get into a short to speculate that we are going to dump down to the low 85k levels. For me, it's a bit too tight to consider a short position where we at right now, purely based on risk management. Where do I put my stop loss? Do I add to the position if I want to get into a small position? It is looking pretty okay though for this to actually move down, guys. So flip-flopping a little bit on the opinion here. Yesterday was like, come on Bitcoin, let's push up, let's go, let's get the rally, let's get an impulse, let's get a corrective range and continue moving to the upside. Not happening, guys. It's not happening. So we're gonna have to discuss some other scenarios. I think I'm gonna break down mainly the 15-minute time frame. Nothing has changed really when we consider the higher time frame scenarios. We got a few scenarios here, either this one that actually continues breaking down in an impulse. So we would label this move to the downside as an impulse. Corrective structure that we are looking for a lower high and not taking out 90,500 and dumping down very aggressively in the next coming days. I mean, that's one scenario eventually, right? That is the lower high before we actually claim the lows at 80k. This is the bearish scenario where you have a finished corrective structure in a double zigzag WXY. You got your contracting leading diagonal. In your wave 1, very messy WXY, flat in wave Y, then a lot of messy choppiness here. But there is a chance for this move down to be impulsive. So could it be the start of a drop down? Both of these, there is this scenario. There is the triangle scenario as well, which they both bring good, interesting levels. Both interesting levels here to the downside. Ideally for this, if this is going to be an impulsive move to the downside, and we do get a little bit more of a range, maybe a mini Santa rally, let's see. But I'm kind of interested in shorting for a lower high here, guys. If we do get the pump and do this, then I would treat this as a possible 3-wave structure down. The low 85k levels are very, very interesting. We've got some interesting support down there, which is a daily level. We've got a daily level down there at 85.4. We've got a nice little mini point of control from a little range here. We want to be very, very cautious eventually, right? This is like danger zone. It's just managing risk, really. But what I want to see here, down here, if we do get that triangle formation, preferably we do get a little bit of a longer range here and a little bit of a bounce, because then we can really detect that being an individual wave, right? We want to see the individual wave, right? 1, 2, 3, a bit of a 3-wavy move to the upside, right? We have developed this triangle also with 3 waves, right? As you can see, a 3-waver here. So preferably we do get that little bit of a bounce, rangy structure, and then come down, and then we could consider. So today I'm going to actually talk about mainly shorts, because longs we might not get the opportunity till the next coming days. I would say. So I think the main trade between today and tomorrow is going to be a short, guys. Okay. And you know the deal. What we do is trade the range. We look for longs and shorts. If we're long yesterday, it doesn't matter. We were long short 2 days ago, right? We look for intraday movements on the local waves and levels of support. That's what we do, guys. So it's not being super bullish bull market or super bearish. We go to 60K. It's adapting to the conditions. We look for intraday setups and high probability movements, okay? And that's what we do, because I know there's a lot of people in the comment that are just like bear, 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 or bull, bull, bull. We are intraday traders. If we can hold a trade for a few days, we will. So that's what we do, guys, here. Any new subscribers, welcome, welcome. Nothing has changed, really. We've got this scenario, which is the bearish one, which I am... I have my doubts. I don't think we're going to break down here throughout the next coming days, as the market's supposedly it should be quite slow and still quite rangy. So the triangle is still very much attractive. The triangle is very much attractive still in this X wave. So we're looking for that finished E wave. However, this can be treated as an impulse. We would need a little bit of a bounce here, a little bit of a rangy structure, and maybe a Santa dump instead of a Santa rally of a few $1,000s to the downside. So preferably we do get some kind of a 3-wavy structure, and we get a stop at the low 85K levels. Price really needs to stop there for, if it's a couple of hours, even better. Get that stop here in this zone. Stopping the price in this area is going to be the moment to take that decision. Obviously, if this is the triangle that is going to be coming to fruition, which eventually is taking out 90K plus. So we just need to go with the flow here, because this has the potential of being a wave 1 or a wave A. It doesn't really matter, but obviously what we're looking at is that movement to the downside. When we take a look at this scenario, we want to be cautious, because if this is a wave 1, this is a wave 2. What we would be looking at here is the development of a wave 3, which is aggressive. It's like really aggressive drop, and this might be the drop that brings $5,000 to $10,000 of a move. And if we are developing the first wave 1 and 2 of our wave 3, then obviously we're looking for the wave 3 here of that wave 3. So we need to be a little bit cautious with the triangle scenario here, believing that let's try and long, and it ends up being a wave 3, and we actually drop down very aggressively, right? So this is going to be a very, very skilled trade setup, which I'm going to explain. It's simple to execute, but you need to be patient coming down into the level. Okay, you need to be patient, because don't worry, if the triangle is going to come to fruition and it is going to develop, it will stop there, and we will see some local bullish market structure for a few hours, and there will be signs of a possible reversal. There will be signs, and those signs need time. So this is a kind of a zone that you do not want to long as you get the drop. As the price is coming down into this low 85K region, I'm not expecting a V-shaped recovery and we pump to 90K in a few hours. That is unlikely going to happen. So the price really needs to stop here for a few hours to realize that the triangle has potential. And on the 5-minute time frame, we would need a little bit of local bullish market structure on the 5-minute, right? Stopping in this zone. And then we can say, guys, you know what? This has a chance, because the price stopped in the third wave, right? Third wave, you want it to really break down here. If this is going to be a 1, 2, 3, right? 4, 5. The third wave needs to be aggressive, and it needs to nuke down. And that's why we need to sit on our hands here for any long positions. If the price is really, moving down with high volume, it's going to be, wait, guys, let's see if we do stop at the low 85K levels and dance around in that zone for a couple of hours at least. Then we can consider possible bouncing reversal. Once the price stops there in this zone for a few hours, I would consider the triangle. I would consider support and a higher low, and my invalidation, it is tight. It is very, very tight. I would be targeting, first of all, 90K. And I mean, that's a nice move of $5,000. Risk to reward can be very, very good. As you can see here, it would be a swing trade. I would see this developing in a few days. It doesn't matter your opinion or my opinion. I know how the market moves and reacts. It's super important that the price stops here at the low 85K levels. If you are moving down in a third wave and you stop here, you realize that this could be an ABC. It could be a corrective structure. Ultimate confirmation would be claiming the lower highs of this region of the last few days. Once that rally is done, then eventually, yeah, this could be very, very nice to even add to the position, or, if we claim the lower highs, because this would confirm that this is a three-wave structure to the downside. Okay, that's if we do claim the last lower highs, right? From basically yesterday or today, if we do claim here 88.2K zone approximately, right? That would be ultimate confirmation that there's a good chance that we could claim $90,000, right? So obviously there's two scenarios here. You're long the absolute low at 85K region, but you need that stop. This is like regardless, we don't need to risk insane amounts, okay? That's your invalidation. Don't go too crazy. If we end up moving down beneath this level, I would be aware of a larger move down, okay? We would be aware of sweeping up this low, even this low over here. And obviously, detecting this as a possible wave 3 to the downside. So longs are going to be a little bit tricky. Longs are tricky. I'm not interested in any local longs at the moment. Yesterday was a nice long day trade. We got a bounce. It's all good. Position is protected. Profits are taken. It's an intraday scalp setup that we talked about. Not interested in longs here, guys. I have to say, I'm personally not interested in longs. I would have to see some of a wider range and come down to this interest zone. And that's where the price stops here in this region, okay, to consider that possible bounce back up without taking out this low at 84.3. Price really needs to stop in this region. Then we can consider that reversal. Okay, so we need to be a little bit patient here for the longs, unfortunately. No new major longs in this area for me anyway. So yeah, let's go through the other scenarios, of course. Let me just get this drawing out of the way. Hopefully that's been a pretty clear explanation on what we are looking at here. That could develop. I know we are in bear market. I know we're downtrending. I know we broke the bear flag, guys. This is intraday trading, right? Super important, because yesterday we had some bears. We're looking for intraday setups, guys. Okay, we are traders. We look for intraday setups, longs or shorts, especially in ranges. In ranges, that's what we do. We look for shorts and longs. Yeah, that's it. Basically, we want to be aware of the contracting diagonal to the downside here, leading diagonal, bouncing a wave 2. Maybe this is a wave 1, wave 2 is in the development here. And this is why for both scenarios, even the bearish one or the bullish one, if it is going to be bullish, we get down to this zone, we complete the E wave of the triangle and we rally. And if it is bearish, we continue to the downside. This is why today, looking for shorts at higher levels, round about the 88K plus zone, is very, very interesting. I have to say, it's very, very interesting. So we'll break that down now. Then there's the ABC flat, of course. That is still a scenario here where you actually, move down in that kind of internal wave 3, right? So you end up breaking down, taking out these lows. And what we would be looking at here to develop in the next coming days to the end of the year is this potentially being a three-wave move to the upside. You got your A wave, but instead of being a wave 1 in a leading diagonal, it's a wave A. This complex, messy structure to the upside is a B wave, and then this impulse down that could be developing in the coming days would be a C wave. And that's a three-wave structure inside of your B wave, right? Which ultimately what we're looking at later is an impulsive move up to sweep up all of the range that we formed, right? So it looks like it's going to be bearish and you're going to break down, but then the price decides to sweep up all of the range to get to the highs of the range, which is very, very common as well. So we haven't got a setup for this. We need a lot of information that needs to be developed in the next coming days. Okay, this would still take many days to develop, and obviously as we are going to be live and we're going to talk about the different scenarios, then we are going to update here because we're here every day except for the weekends and obviously the holiday days, which is tomorrow in this case. So this flat scenario is mirroring this scenario. However, instead of breaking down in an impulse in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you break down here, and this is a three-wave structure that finishes maybe sweeping the low or maybe not, but at least you need to hit the 0.9 Fibonacci retracement from this low to this high. That is the minimum target for the B wave of the flat. So at least we would need to get to 82K. And then we'll monitor the scenario here. If we can count, 5 waves really nicely here to the downside, and we start losing some steam, then we could be looking for some longs, either at this low or either at the 0.9 region. We need some information for this. There's no rush. It's just speculation at the moment till we get the information so we can be confident in that position. Now, breaking down the lower time frame, this is where we have the meat and potatoes. I have to say, I was a little bit, I had a little bit of too much hope yesterday, believing that, this could be a three-wave structure. There is a way of counting a 5-waver in this zone as a contracting diagonal, ending diagonal. There is a way, so you could fit in here a three-wave structure. And this being a WXY, where you have 3-wave up, correction, and we might get a 3-wave up here. Price didn't prove itself too much in the last 24 hours, guys. So this is why we are talking about the different alternatives. We're going to point out here the bearish scenario. I would obviously prefer a move up here locally. I'm not a fan of shorting where we are at the moment. And we're just going to break down this movement, literally. This movement down, the information that we have in the last 24 hours to really come to the conclusion of, what's the high probability scenario here, right? And where are the levels to look for a trading setup. So let's go quickly and say hello to the, rest of the people that have joined the stream here on Christmas Eve. We do have over 300 people watching at the moment. Smash up the like button if you do enjoy the content. We look for intraday setups, Monday to Friday, local scenarios, doing a little bit of Elliott wave theory, putting levels of confluence, and obviously considering some levels to short and long. The last few days, we were very interested in shorting in between $90,000 and $92,000. That was the rejection point. Start looking for shorts, either on the rejection of the weekly level, either point of control. We had many levels here in this zone. One is likely going to be the high. Either sweep up this high with the lower highs with the fair value gap. Weekly level, we have maybe a completed structure. Maybe we do get one more leg up, but we are looking for that reversal move down, and this is why this zone was acceptable for shorts. And yesterday, the zone acceptable for longs was sweeping up these cheeky higher lows that we had right over here with the golden pocket that did get us a bounce of over $1,500. Nice for a little intraday setup with a bit of the hope that we could bounce to much higher levels. But that was not the case. We bounced $1,500 approximately, and prices rolling to the downside. Probably going to get stopped out on this one already at break even. And yeah, that's what we're going to do here. Now we're going to look for the new setup, new scenarios. Not that I don't think much people are going to be trading throughout Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, but let's get some stuff ready. Maybe some people don't celebrate and not getting together with friends and family. I don't know. Maybe some people are going to spend Christmas watching the charts and looking for a trade setup. This is why we are here, to get something ready. Right? So let's say hello to the beautiful community that have just been joining right now. Hello, legends. Rock Cyber, much love to you. From Holland, Sand221. Alex, much love. Andy, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas for you. Powering 2906. Half day US stock market today. Okay, so it is true. Yeah, Christmas Eve, I remember it was kind of open only for half a day. Hello, Andy. I sent you a DM with my analysis. Take a look, please. Fabio, absolutely. I will take a look at that. I got lots of DMs that I need to go through in the Telegram. But I will see if I can see you around and check it, my man. Thomas, thank you so much for coming to navigate us through these very calm and confusing waters. And Merry Christmas to you and your loved ones. Thomas B, much love. Much love. Thank you so much. Same to you, my man. Time for a Christmas cracker stream. It is. It is. Merry Christmas, Fabio. Chichan. Hi, Andy. Happy Christmas, everyone. Dean Farag. Hello, my man. Much love to you. Happy Christmas. I'm trying to read some of the names and surnames, and sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can't. Meme cat. Yeah, get him. Fair enough. Just know there are not many rules in trading, as the market always changes, and there are almost no rules because it's situation and context dependent. And I know, man. We look at the different high probability scenarios and levels to look and reject or bounce from, right? What can I say, right? The last few days, obviously we need, I tell you what, with the experience that I have, I can tell you obviously what has higher probability, and a lot of people do know how to read the charts very, very well. The problem is, do you know how to trade it? Do you know how to manage risk? Do you know where to enter and manage risk? That is a problem for many people. There's been many successful technical analysts that have literally, haven't managed to trade because they, have a psychological problem with, money and risking. And okay, it's simple, guys. It's super simple, but we make it complicated as human beings. Get in the trade with less capital, keep it 1 to 2%, take a chance, have invalidation levels. You get stopped out, you move on to the next one. You don't get wrecked on one trade. You get wrecked if you lose 20 trades consistently and not get a winner. That's when you get wrecked. We talked about shorting this zone. We talked about a nice little bouncing zone. Got in both of trades, protective, both profits. It's simple. Don't overcomplicate things. And of course the markets are difficult. This is why we're here every day, to figure out what the heck is going on and what has the highest probability scenario. So I mean, it's all okay. If you haven't figured out, right? If you haven't figured out the way of reading the charts and managing risk, you are in the right place. Trust me, you are going to see heavy improvements in your trading if you stick around long enough in this channel, and we will prove it to you. I'm actually going to think about doing a challenge in 2026 to turn $200,000 in $400,000 in a year. because whoever says that can double an account in 1 month, trust me, it ain't gonna happen. If it happens, it's been a few lucky couple of trades and he just did it, but it's not a sustainable way. So we are gonna, a year, making 100% in 1 year is very achievable, right? That's in between 5 and 15% profits a month on average. It is very possible, and it's actually not that complicated. So, and I know a lot of people want to double their accounts because they may be trading with $1,000 or $2,000. And I can already tell you, you just have a higher probability in losing your money trading like that. Okay, you will double or triple in a few weeks, but if you trade with that much capital in your, to double and triple in a matter of a few weeks, you'll end up losing it. You'll end up getting into the wrong trade and losing that capital. You need to build up consistently, slowly and consistently. So as we're going to do long live streams, I think 2026 is going to be that. Live trading, live setups, and, turn a 200K account into 400K, right? If we can get it before, we'll get it before, right? So, but it's a very achievable challenge. Trade when it's tradable, says Staffer One. Much love, Aditya. Merry Christmas, Aditya, Staffer One. But yeah, anyway, good morning, everyone. Don't forget to like the stream, says Cryptomaniac. Right, we have 4 Sama here. The Elliott wave system is literally built on rules and guidelines. It's how the whole system works. Absolutely. It is very true. Respectful when we conversing you, just a zealot mode. Merry Christmas, Chispaki. Happy Christmas, sir. Satistan, much love. I think it's going to dump to 83K. It's very much a possibility, that's for sure. Hi, Santa, I am here. Santa Pump, Santa Rally. We had to get it on the thumbnail, guys, just to get it a bit of hope, right? Merry Christmas from London. JJMG, much love. Trade when it's suitable. With the Bible in the middle. JJMG. Republican Dominicana is the best flag. Absolute legend. Black screen, no. Anyway, let's go. Nothing much more to say. Happy Christmas Eve, guys. And let's analyze here the few scenarios on the price of Bitcoin. So, understanding the higher time frame. When I take a look at the main scenarios, I have to say most of the scenarios, do point out that we do actually dump down right to the 85K region, expecting a higher low in this area. To take out 90K is a little bit of wishful thinking, I have to say. Yesterday I had I was feeling a little bit bullish. Let's see if we could get a major rally, but obviously the price is looking like crap. Let's be honest. There's still a chance eventually, but we need to break down the lower time frames, because on the higher time frame, what we do have here is, either this scenario, and preferably we do go lower, and then this actually gets cheeky to the 78.88 Fibonacci, almost taking out this low. That's where you want to see the price. And for me, this move down, there is a chance for a double zigzag, but there is a chance for an impulsive move. And symmetry on a triangle is also quite important. And it would be actually more symmetrical if the price dumps down here after getting this range finished. So, yeah, a lot of the scenarios do point out that we could be at least dumping down to 85K or even lower. And, at this point, with the information that we got in the last 24 hours, not too convinced that this is looking any bullish or any good signs for a reversal. Especially as the price action has moved down here, almost taking out this low and this would be rare for a wave 2 to come so close, right? Literally hitting over the 0.88 Fibonacci. And this is actually rare for a wave 2. It is more common to hit the 0.88 Fibonacci for either a wave B or a wave X, where you do a form of zigzag, or you just continue the range and then you move down. So because of the information of yesterday, guys, I wanted to see a shallow retracement and then consider the rally, but that was not the case. So let's break down the levels. What I would want to see, of course, I did like the idea yesterday of this movement down. We do have the gap, we do have the high volume here, we do have the choppiness. Eventually on the 50-minute time frame, you can count a possible 5-wave move to the downside. However, I don't like the third wave. You know, this is why yesterday we were given a chance for the bullish scenario. You know, I mean this wave, but this is the 50-minute time frame, and we always want to take all of this with a grain of salt. But I have to say, instead of this being another 1 and 2 right there, then you're adding all of this, which looks very 3-wavy. I have to say, I don't like it 1 2 3, right? It would have been nice to get a 4 5 here, but instead of getting 1 2 1 2 1 2, which we were talking about yesterday, you got a 1 2 here, 1 2, and then this is your third wave, and that's, you know, your wave 4 did not overlap with your wave 1s, and you do hit the 50% Fibonacci, 382, not even 50%, which is valid for the wave 4. But I still don't like it too much, but it does look aggressive. It does have high volume here. This is a bunch of this is a big mess here right there. So a 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 and a 4 5 here is very much a possibility. I have to say, this could be a impulsive move, which we would have to label as a wave 1 or a wave A, right? Which automatically has continuation down later on, right? Bullish case scenarios, you know, this would have to be because there is a clear 5-wave move here, and this is a choppy, rangy corrective structure that we had. This is an individual wave, which is likely a flat or a sideways WXY after getting this impulse, right? Complex little range over here. There is a way of counting a contracting diagonal here if the wave finishes there, where you have the movement down, zigzag up, and a flat, and then contracting diagonal. There is a way of counting this as a 3-waver from this pivot low. And yesterday we were talking about, well, what if we have a 3-wave up in a wave A corrective structure in a WXY in a wave B, and then we form another zigzag to the upside here, right? You know, it's just looking at some ideas. So obviously, if we have the potential and we got a level to enter a long, we will enter the long. But another scenario, as this is impulsive, could I see this as a 3-wave down, 3-wave up, and the impulse down, which would be a flat wave A or wave 1 in this zone, this movement to the upside, A, B, C flat. There's 3 waves down, 3 waves up. However, your B wave, this wave over here, is so long compared to this one. It just doesn't look right. But this obviously would be bullish, which this would be a B wave or a second wave. And, actually we do hold on here as a higher low. And, we start getting some bullish momentum. Santa rally it is. But yeah, I don't like this structure too much, if I'm honest with you. B wave is so out of proportion here with the timing of your wave A here. But I'm just thinking about, you know, this is a three wave down, and this possibly an impulse. You got a flat. Just because this is an impulse as well. You know, there are chances for the bulls still, huh? There are chances for the bulls, even though, yeah, they're not looking too great. So if we've got this movement to the downside here as an impulse, we do have a bit of a three-wavy structure here to the upside. So we did get a pump yesterday to take out these lower highs. So we got this movement up, a correction, and then another move up, right? There's a bit of a three-waver here. This is not impulsive, that is for sure, if you got a three-wave move up here like this. However, on the other side, where we would have something bullish, just because from this low, this higher low, we also moved up like this in a three-wave structure. So could this be a flat as well? I mean, yeah, the C wave is a little bit too long here. A little bit of a confusing range, but there is possibilities for the bulls, right? You know, if I don't see something solid for the bulls, I will say, yeah, bullish scenario is like very, very unlikely. But there are a few scenarios for the bulls, guys. You know, there actually are some possibilities for the price to rally from this zone. You know, there's no invalidation. This can be counted as a double zigzag. We talked about this yesterday, where we have the zigzag down correction here and another zigzag down. Double zigzag is possible. And if this is going to be a three wave up, double zigzag down, you know, this could be a three correction, three, kind of a double zigzag to the upside. You know, it doesn't look beautiful, that is for sure. It doesn't look beautiful, that is for sure. And this flat here doesn't look too great. That's your impulse. A flat here, that means this would have to be wave 1 or wave A, wave B or wave 2, and then we rally from here. Yeah. With this retracement that we got down here to almost take out the low, it is a rare target for a wave 2 to come that low, literally coming down to the 0.88 Fibonacci. So the probabilities for the bulls here are not looking too great. So yeah, I'm gonna have to favor a little bit this being a impulsive move down. Okay, we're gonna have to give it obviously a chance, as it is looking a little bit more attractive at this point than the bullish case that moves up to 90k. We you know, that has a low probability at the moment, guys, based on the new information that we got here. This retracement went too low, not looking too great. 0.88 is more common for a wave B, so, or a wave X, more of a corrective scenario. However, this would be too quick for the bounce when we consider timing. So an extended range here is very possible. Hopefully we do get a rally to the interest zone where I could consider a short trade, guys. Okay, I would be more interested in this range. We might get a Christmas Eve rally, and I think that Christmas Eve rally will be unsustainable for the price to actually get to 90k. So I'm actually interested in a short. However, I cannot short down here with the current information that we have. There's no way. If this is going to be an impulse, I would rather see a bit of a three wavy move, take out these recent highs. This is an acceptable SFP, I have to say. I'm going to say that these lower highs are going to be acceptable. Yeah, I do have a plan here. I do have a plan. Price loves to sweep up highs and lows, right? It loves to sweep lows and highs, and they bring opportunities because that's where people are maybe shorting here, and they're having their stops at the last lower high. That is the most common human thing that people do. Put stop at a high or at a low. It's just the way it goes. And price likes to claim those stops and then reverse, right? So with this information that we have currently at the moment, you know, we can label this as an impulse. This movement down, a little bit too low. It doesn't look incredibly impulsive. Also, maybe you could fit a contracting diagonal here where you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this has a shallow bounce and then rolls over. However, for this to be a wave 1 or a wave A, and this little 3-wave bounce that we got yesterday to be your wave B or your wave 2 is very, very quick compared to this move down. Remember, symmetry is important. It probably didn't even hit the 382 Fibonacci. Let me double check that. Yeah, without a doubt, did not cross the 382 Fibonacci in time. So it would be nice to take out that high just so we have a little bit of a symmetrical correction, right? Bit of a symmetrical 3-wave corrective structure, and then move down to the low 85k levels. That's, I think, the trade setup that we have today, or at least between today and tomorrow, would be attempting a short from higher levels. If nobody entered a short from higher, I did take most of the profits, but I'm willing to get into a new short again. So I'm just going to remain patient. We can't catch them all, guys, like Pokemon. You know, we need to catch the ones that we can and the ones that have higher probability. So yeah, the thing is, these lower highs and these lower highs, these are going to be my guidelines. Not that we have major levels. Yeah, we got a big cluster of yesterday's range. So we are trying, you know, it would be nice. Yeah, basically yesterday's value zone, we just kind of tried to break down. Now we kind of wanting to get inside. So it's a very, there's nothing here really. I wouldn't consider today's levels as major levels. Previous day point of control, I'm personally not considering anything here for a lower high. I would want to see that Santa rally, claim that high, and I think that's the moment where the price could reverse, either claiming this lower high or this lower high. One of the two are going to be the ones that I am going to have a plan ready here for you guys. Not much volatility, nothing high probabilistic here in this little zone, guys. Yesterday was awesome. We realized that this low could be claimed. We had a plan. We had it on the live. We got the bounce. Nice intraday move. Nice little day trade yesterday. So the market's maybe going to be slow. We do have New York open in 30 minutes. If we do get a pump on New York open, these are the levels that I'm going to consider as a short, okay, which is the this lower high right over here of yesterday and this one. I think in between we don't have much volume or anything. Yeah, this is where we have the highest amount of volume, where we did get rejected early this morning. It would be nice to get a rally here. I'm not sure if we will, guys, but it would be nice. Just so we have a little bit of more symmetry. If this is going to be an impulsive move to the downside, if all of this is an impulse, as explained here with the waves, it would be nice to have a little bit more of a rangy, symmetrical, claim lower highs structure to then get the dump down. So I think this is the most sensible plan that there could be to re-enter a short at the moment. It's new trades, guys, right? A few days ago we were talking about shorts in this region. Yesterday we talked about the long here. We need to go and look for the levels that have higher probability and better risk management, of course, and we need guidelines, right? So the guideline for me would be this high, and you might think, why do you think that this high is a reasonable swing failure pattern where you get above it and then you reject and then you move down? Just because if this turns out to be an impulse to the downside, I would be happy for this to be the three-wave structure already. I would say, you know, it's a very acceptable scenario to actually sweep up the lower highs of yesterday. Entry, stop loss. You're targeting the low, not only these lows, you're very likely going to, you know, 85k lows at a bare minimum. We might even break down in a wave 3, who knows? But I think we got a lot of scenarios that point out that we could roll over eventually and not take out 90k. And what we need is guidelines. And as explained, if the price does move up above this high and does not get any reaction, just like yesterday, guys, right? It's like, I'm not usually that good in sniping the exact low of a trade, but we talked about taking this low and we just barely touched it and already getting a reaction, and that was the long possible execution, and that was actually pretty insane entry. Gave a bit of room for stop loss, but was ready for that situation. And you know what we talk about is, you know, tap the level. I preferred this one yesterday instead of this one, so I remained a bit more patient. We tapped that level and then executed the long here. So this is a little bit of a similar explanation. Yesterday we had our reasons to execute a long position here. We had, first of all, the golden pocket from pivot low to the pivot high. That's very good. 618 to 65 zone. Usually that is the most respected fib retracement. We know that. It was proven yesterday. And you had a few cheeky higher lows here, which are always good for a kind of a liquidity grab, and a fair value gap with no volume, which obviously could bring that dump. So it either bounces from here or it breaks down, right, to the low 85k level. So just with that said, it's these two major pivots have a similar explanation on the SFP execution. Take the high, get a reaction. That could be the short position stop loss at the high. There's two attempts. There's two main attempts here for me. You could give it a little bit of room. But I can tell you, if we get stopped out once and we enter the next trade, the movement is likely going to pay, you know, 5-6 times your stop loss. There's no doubt about it. So first of all, guys, I completely forgot the big disclaimer, guys, okay? Muy importante. The content is educational purposes only and is not financial advice. The information provided is not guaranteed to be accurate or complete. Always conduct your own research before making any financial decision. I have to say it, guys. You know that I got a strike a few weeks ago from YouTube, and we you know, I believe that it is because of that. But anyway, so if this turns out to form a lower high in this region, either SFP from this high or the SFP from this lower high, the top one actually looks a little bit more juicy because we have the golden pocket, and we know the story of the golden pocket, right? The story of the golden pocket, you got this one right over here, a nice bounce reaction, right? So the golden pocket is actually nicely positioned from this drop down, because we have some lower highs that we had here on Tuesday, that is. So yeah, if the price wouldn't get a reaction from this level and stays above this level and stretches its legs to claim that lower high, then yeah, without a doubt, this would be the zone to look for the short down back to the lows, and even back down to, you know, and even down to the low 85k zone. I'm not sure if we're going to get this, guys, but it makes sense that the price does actually range for a little longer, and it does make sense to possibly claim the highs here. So it does form a bit of a three-wavy corrective structure. Impulse down, three-wavy corrective structure, and then down here, right? And then you have a completed three-wave to the downside. That's the general idea here that we have, looking at the charts. And I have guidelines and I have levels. The first one is this one. What can I say? The first one would be the highs of yesterday. If it does manage in the next coming hours between today and tomorrow to push through whatever it does here and claim that high, that's the guideline. I need the rejection. I need my entry point. Okay. On the rejection, not on the pump, guys. I'm not shorting the pump. I'm shorting here. If you want to short the pump and try and catch it, just, manage risk. But ideally, we'll get the rejection. And this has the potential not only to claim the low, but actually come down to the low 85K levels. So this is how the trade would look like. First target zone is the lows eventually. You could get a reaction bounce from there naturally and then move down. But, major lows always have to be a TP. So yeah, that would be the trade idea here for the short. Need an SFP from the highs of yesterday. We need an SFP. We need to SFP so I can put stop loss, a couple of $100 maybe above that high, just in case of any internal volatility, and target the lows and even the breakdown here to complete a three-waver to the low 85K levels. It might go lower, so we always want to leave some open on that and treat it as a possible swing that could last for a few days. If this is if this doesn't reject, if this is the one that does not get the rejection, my next level would be, without a doubt, obviously, if we smash through the highs of yesterday and the price, instead of rejecting, continues to the upside, look no further. The best zone is that golden pocket with a lower high. It would be a bit more of an extended third wave here, right? C wave, three-wave structure. But yeah, I think this would be a very, very acceptable entry as well. Stop loss above the high, give or take a bit of room, and the risk reward looks very, very good. Of course, TP1 would be the lows, and TP2 would be low 85K levels, very likely. So it doesn't matter getting stopped out once here. We can afford a stop loss here. But we have major pivots, Fibonacci, Elliott wave reasons. If we consider this an impulse, if we consider a possible three-wave structure, and maybe this doesn't happen, guys. Maybe we range here and we dump. Okay, but it's a trading plan, right? I am not Nostradamus. I don't have a crystal ball. I do have crystal balls, but not a crystal ball. And it's a scenario that it could happen, right? It's a scenario that could happen, and we just need to be ready. It's a trading plan. What we do is we create plans. I create 5 plans, and maybe only one happens, right? Yesterday, I had 2 plans. I had this level, and I had another level down here. If we were to get an aggressive move down, I knew exactly what needed to happen to get a stop in this region for that E wave of the triangle and, really remain patient. That one didn't happen. This one happened. So that came to fruition. A few plans in the last few days, few levels weekly, point of control, lower highs. The weekly point of control was the one that rejected, so I had to be in some kind of a position, even though it wasn't the biggest position, but still, managed to make $1,000 on that movement down, so that's okay. But yeah, we create plans, guys, of course, and maybe some of the plans don't come to fruition. You know, I think a lot of people understand that, but I know a lot of people don't. So, you know, people would just look at this and say, you said we were going to pump to this zone, right? I said, you know, it's a possibility, right? And if we consider this an impulse and we're looking for a three-wave structure, this is a bit too shallow in time for the price to really nuke down from here. I would give a chance for a larger bounce. Maybe we get that you know, cheap Santa rally of $1,000 to try and get above 88.2k, and that's the moment I need to consider the guidelines here. And the guidelines are pretty obvious. It's either rejection from this pivot or rejection from this pivot. Anything in between, I will not trade. Anything in between, I'm not shorting. So for me, I need to reject from here so I can execute the short and have a stop loss. If I'm inside of this area, I'm not shorting until we hit this high and we reject. And then I'm shorting and I'm putting a stop loss. And I'm targeting the lows. If we move up from here and we maintain above this high and this high, if price action does this and it's trading here, you know, I'm not shorting. If we come back down this level, then I'll short and put a stop loss. The risk to reward is still good enough, even though the wick is high. I need the price to get back beneath the guidelines, because that's how I build the strategy. That's how I build the plan. If it is staying above these levels, you know, you just don't trade it, right? You know, I try to explain here the situation on that. So that would be the ideal short setups. Shorting down here, I don't think so. It ain't gonna happen. If it rolls down, ranges from here and rolls down, or rolls down from here, you know, it's not my party, right? I'm not participating into this move. For me to participate on the rollover, we would at least have to take out this high, and potentially even this one if we don't reject from this one. That's 88.2k, if not 88.9k. So that's for the new position. We'll see. For the bulls, because we need to talk about the bullish case scenario, we need to talk about the bullish case. For the bullish case, as we talked about yesterday, of the potential of this being the low, which is still the low today, even though it's not looking great. Man, the bulls need a lot of work here. Yeah, it's just it's not going to be an easy one for the bulls, because even though if you do form an impulsive move here to the upside, I'm really going to treat this as an ABC, right? And then, you know, I am looking for the lows to be claimed. So unless price really forms, you know, a little bit of a wave one here, gets a correction throughout today and tomorrow, and then snaps out, then of course we could say, okay, this was a wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right, 4, 5. We end up getting the Santa rally and we end up going to 90k. And obviously this is going to be a hard one to detect, to jump into a long. You know, I would not enter any new. I'm interested more in shorts, guys, I have to say, on the pump, on the rejection from this lower high or this one. But if we smash out in a wave 3, I'm not shorting, guys, right? I'm not shorting. If we do not reject from this pivot or this one, you know, I always need to be aware of the bullish case, right? So as traders, you always need to have both scenarios. You can have a favorite one. I usually have a favorite one, or if not, I'm very, very neutral. If I'm not sure, I'm quite neutral. So, but you always if you're looking for a short and you're looking for a long, no matter how nice the shorts look or how nice the long looks, you always need to, I analyze more the scenario that goes against me, so I'm aware of it, right? And that's seriously what makes you a better trader as well, right? No matter if you think it's a bullish pennant or a bearish flag or whatever, and it's gonna roll over, it's bearish, or it's bullish, and you have just, you know, really closed-minded into just one scenario, and you're only looking for shorts or you're only looking for longs, it's long-term not sustainable. I can tell you that already. But that's why I like the shorts today, because of this movement that we got in the last 24 hours. If we would have consolidated here and started pumping, and, you know, today we're ranging in this zone, I'm like, yeah, okay, guys, you know, this could have been the double zigzag, and this 1, 2, 3, we're still continuing the momentum. And, you know, if we are trading in this zone today, I'll be like, yeah, this could be an impulse. But, you know, that was not the case. So I have to flip my bias because of the information that we got, right? And it is normal to flip-flop from ideas here. You need to adapt to the conditions as a trader. You know, I don't make the rules. You know, whatever I see the next day, I will, you know, maybe change my idea of yesterday. I said, you know, yeah, why not? We have a chance to hit 90K. And today I would say, yeah, based on the information that we got here, I think we're probably going to take out, you know, the lows and go to 85K region. So, and then we might stop there. If we don't stop, then we go down, guys. So we need to adapt. So even though I'm interested in a short here or a short here, I really like to, you know, study the bullish case, right? I'm like, okay, if I like this maybe to be an impulse, there's a 3-wave up, it's been very, very quick. We've hit the 0.88, so it's not common for a wave 2, I have to say. It's more common for a wave B or a wave C. This is why if you do take out the highs, these shorts become very interesting. But what if the price throughout the next coming hours continues rallying here, forms some kind of an impulse in the lower time frame, right? And then it starts correcting here throughout, you know, early tomorrow morning, and then suddenly starts breaking out later. I need to understand that, you know, maybe the price has formed a 1-2, and, you know, then this short might not look too interesting, especially if volume is increasing into this zone. You know, this could change the picture, especially if volume starts increasing on this movement to the upside. So then I'm like, you know, the short that we talked about yesterday, I don't like it anymore. And especially if we are moving up with high volume and we formed another little 1-2 here, and price ends up, you know, moving and smashing through these levels. So, you know, we need to adapt a little bit to the scenarios. But that's the most interesting one. If the price, so short trades, those are the plans. I have to say either this one or this one is the guideline. Target zone would be claiming this low and even going down to the low 85K levels. So the overall plan here would be reaching this level and either reject from here and move down, or either taking out this one and move down. That is the plan, with the potential of breaking the lows eventually, right? So that would be a TP1 and TP2 already. It's an intraday setup. Could take a couple of days to develop. That would be a bit of the general plan here, considering Elliott wave theory and levels of liquidity, SFP, and a bit of Fibonacci eventually. For any local longs, I have to say I'm not interested at the moment. I'm not interested at the moment, even I'm still in that long position. If we pump from here, guys, I have to say, you know, this is a difficult long. It's not a high probability long. It's not a good entry long, I would have to say, with the current information that we have in the last 24 hours, which was a pump and dump. you know, forming a higher low here at the 0.88. So it's just, oh man, it's just, I don't want to participate in this. You know, if we pump from here, well, I'm already in, but like for a new trade, I would not want to get in here. So new longs, I have to say, I have to remain a little bit patient. I would prefer for new longs, yeah, for new longs, it would have to be down at the low 85k levels, with obviously the possibility of this, you know, if the price does not take out this high or this high from from the last couple of days, and we form a bit of a sideways range, which is very possible. Maybe we form some kind of a complex WXY. If we were to form a triangle, then it's going to be looking incredibly good for the price to actually bounce from this region. Well, give it higher probability, because if we form a triangle in the next coming days, which, I mean, we already have a higher low. If we pump up here, then down, form another higher low, and then another lower high between today and tomorrow, and then we get the dump and we form a bit of a 5 waver into this zone, holy smokes, guys, this would be awesome for the long position. And I'm stop loss at 84.3k, which is the lows here, and I would attempt this swing long without a doubt if we end up forming a triangle in this region between today and tomorrow. And there's two simple reasons why. First of all, you can't have a triangle in a wave 2. So wave 2s have to be some kind of a corrective structure in a zigzag or a complex WXY. And then obviously what you're looking for is a wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. But wave 2s cannot be a triangle. Wave triangles are formed inside of a corrective structure that is a wave 4 or a wave X or a wave E or a wave B, or, you know, but not in wave 2s. So if we squeeze in a triangle here throughout the next, you know, between today and tomorrow, we form a lower high, we form another higher low, and we like really range here. We need to detect the movement down here to have a, you know, 5 wave structure, high volume in the middle, slow down at the 85k region, which, you know, we do have a daily level down there. We do have, you know, we do have some, you know, little consolidation, point of control right there. We have the possibility of this being the E wave of the triangle. You know, let's see if we range between today and tomorrow, right? Because, I mean, we're talking about shorts here. That's if we were to pump. Okay, we got guidelines, we got a plan. So we just need to wait for those levels to be hit. But what if we don't hit those levels? We squeeze in a triangle. Of course, this is going to be a bit complex to short unless you can really detect, you know, this being an A, B, C. We form a lower high now in the next coming hours, then we form another higher low. If it were to be the case, maybe you can, you know, attempt the short of the E wave, stop loss beneath the last lower high, which should be formed, you know, in the next coming hours here. But we just don't know if a triangle will be formed here. Yeah. But the interesting thing, that triangles cannot be a wave 2. So if it is going to be a wave B, you know, if it is going to be a triangle, it's likely going to be a wave B. Because if this is an impulse down, a triangle, wave B, and then wave C, and then we have our 3-wave structure to potentially complete our triangle, right? That we, you know, maybe if it is a triangle here, I understand that the probabilities of nuking down in a wave 3 are low probability if we squeeze in a triangle here throughout today and tomorrow. And there is higher probability for this to slow down, and that what we're looking for is a 3-wave structure. And obviously the triangle is the one that would have priority here on the higher time frame. which would be this one right over here, right? And this, man, if we form a triangle between today and tomorrow and we break down, it's going to be incredibly interesting to consider that long at the 85k region. We have a daily level 78.88. Stop. Your invalidation is shallow and the projection is really good. It's above 90k, so that's going to be really interesting if we were to form a triangle here, but you know, we don't know yet. To complete a triangle, what we would need is another lower high and another higher low. Preferably this is not the one. Preferably we go a little bit higher. But literally this would have to be A, B, C wave here, a lower high somewhere in this region. And then your D and your E wave, right, that would be developed in the next coming day, you know, coming hours between today and tomorrow. So yeah, I mean, it would be interesting if you do form a higher low, a lower high, and then you form a higher low tonight, and then, you know, it's going to be very, very interesting. E wave are not easy. I mean, you can obviously look for the speculative short to get the breakdown. Target zone would be, you know, at least the mid 85k levels. But what I would be interested in here is really speculating for this to be an A, B, C, come down to this zone. I mean, it's a possibility. It's just some ideas, guys. Ideas. We get ideas on how the price could develop. If we do squeeze in a triangle here, one more lower high, one more higher low. This is going to take, you know, easily 10 to 15 hours to develop tomorrow morning, tomorrow midday. And then, you know, we might get the Santa dump instead of the Santa rally. But this is, you know, what I'm not interested in this speculation. I'm interested in what follows after this move. And if we form a triangle here, then what we could form is an impulse down, high volume. It looks very bearish. We get that slowdown here after the high volume candle, because that's what always happens. You do get a slowdown after the big volume candle. You go lower, but it slows down, and then you range and you can have a possible reversal bounce, right? So it's an idea. If we slow down here and we form a triangle and we end up breaking down tomorrow, and we slow down at the 85k zone, I would be very, very interested in looking for that swing long. We're going to have to see, guys, of course. You know, we're going to have to see. It needs to stop. We need a lot of information. We need the triangle. We need to, you know, we need that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need a slowdown in this region, and we can consider that long. Okay, we need more information here to consider that possibility. End the triangle, impulse down, you know, get that third wave, and then the fifth wave getting exhausted here with low volume. Then that's the moment we can consider speculating on the long. It's not long in the dump or any of that nonsense, guys. We need proof of support. We need slowdown. We need the structure, the possible, you know, information to see if it is maybe ending, right? So that's how we map the situation, guys, on future price action. Nobody knows the future, but we can have a few ideas on how it could happen and be ready for which one happens, right? And this would be maybe one of them. That's if we do not get the zigzag, right? And that's the main reason we talked about this, is because that's where I would be interested in longing. You know, this is the zone that I'm interested in maybe longing, okay? Maybe longing is another thing than actually saying I'm longing this level. maybe longing depending on, as I explained, how we get down there. So yeah, that's a little bit it, legends. Shorts, I'm not interested here at all in any new longs. I'm just not interested with what we have here. This move up with the retracement down to, you know, at the 0.88, I can't long here. I can't get in a long here. In a new long, I'm still maintaining that long position, but I'm very sure it's going to get stopped out. So let's go through the comment section right away, guys. Remember, if you are interested in trading, this is the main platform that I use at the moment. I used to use Bybit a lot. Now I'm using Bluffin quite often. Check out the link down below because you do get a great bonus. It is an affiliate link. You get a $1,000 bonus if you deposit $7,000. You get $750 if you deposit $5,000. If you deposit $1,000, you're getting $200 on top of that. Okay, just to increase your capital, and that is with new signups, of course, guys. Take advantage. You just need an email and a password to sign up to Bluffin. It's the first link, and the decentralized option is Velto, guys. You just connect your wallet. There's a little tutorial. As soon as you click that link, no middleman, you have full custody of your funds, and that's how it goes. Does market open today in 2 minutes? Yes, it does. It does. Apparently, it is opening, but just for half of the day. So, yeah. Let's take a look at stock market. Stock market on the verge. Well, we have hit new all-time highs, at least on the ES, on the E-mini futures, CME futures. I think the SPX hasn't hit all-time high, but we have on, yesterday we already hit all-time high on the stock market. I think SPX hasn't quite reached all-time highs. Yeah, we're just a few points away, but we're literally at all-time high on the stock market, at least on CME. Santa rally, beautiful bounce at the previous all-time high on the CME. This is the previous all-time high. We bounced, and it looks like we are going to test those highs again because there's nothing bearish about this movement to the downside, especially with this movement up, almost taking out the highs. So it looks like all-time highs for Christmas on stock market. It is getting a bit of local volatility at the moment here with the New York Open currently opening green. Not doing much for Bitcoin. Bitcoin doing its own thing. So that's a little bit of the plans, guys, here. You know, what can I say? That not much more information. Interesting swing longs to maybe take out 90k. That is giving hope to the triangle, guys. We can not only have patterns and say, well, this is the pattern that's going to play out, and I am going to long just because I like the triangle. No, guys, we need to, you know, end this correction, which could form a triangle. We might take out the highs at 88.3k. We might, we might continue the range, but ultimately, I want to see the move down, slowing down in this region in an impulse. And after the wave 3, I want to see that wave 4 and 5 getting supported here at the 0.88, the daily level, that we do have down here as well, at 85.4. We need a slowdown in that region, and then we can consider the triangle E wave here for the wave X on the higher time frame. If there's no limit longs, there's none of that, guys. Okay, so we need proof of support, and basically trade in that zone. And there is the idea of this to be a swing long, guys. Very, very acceptable swing long trade to hit 90k at a bare minimum, 90.5k. We're going to have to see. We're going to have to see how we get down there, if we slow down. If we do dump and we do not stop for a few hours in this low 85k region, we are looking at this scenario, guys, which would be very likely breaking down in a wave 3. So yeah, I mean, this is an interesting area for sure, guys, that we want to be cautious. We really want to be cautious here. Triangle is all good and fun, guys, but we want to be we need a stop here, guys. The price needs to stop. Don't worry, there will be time to enter long. Let it stop for a few hours in this zone, because if it does not stop, we go down eventually, right? If we get big volume red candles and it just absolutely nukes, and there's no stops on the 15-minute time frame, and we're not trading for a few hours at the 85k region with proof of support, that tells us that there is proof of support. If price stops there, there's no catching falling knives in this zone, guys, because eventually there is that danger of really breaking down already to start tackling $80,000 maybe in the next week or so, right? So we want to be a little bit cautious on taking the decisions for longs. But sometimes the longs that don't look too great are the best ones. Sometimes, right? Because then market is here very ferocious and likes to surprise us all. And if we were to get that leg down, you know, not many people wanted to long here. I can tell you that. I'm sure that a lot of people were not interested in longing here, almost about to take out this low. You obviously have the break of trend, right? People, you know, random, you know, average Joe people, right? Mediocre, you know, have the break of the trend, and, you know, they believe that we're just going to claim the low and claim the low already here, right? Which is obviously, it's natural, right? You're just breaking the bear flag, right? And you just think, you know, we're down trending. The trend is your friend. So, you know, but they are long positions to be taken, right? This was a very, very acceptable long position, especially when we considered this the next day, talking about the impulse on the lower time frame, sweeping up the low, very acceptable long. It did bounce, you know, $5,000, right, throughout the last few days. So we would just want to be cautious, guys. The only interesting level to consider a long here is really down at $85,000 zone, okay? But the price really needs to stop there and get some local bullish market structure. You did have that here, right? That's what happened here. You can see that the price before, you know, if you believe that this low was going to be taken, you don't want to long the falling knife really. But if you do get that reaction bounce, you know, you can consider, well, if we have stopped here, it's for some reason, right? And that's what I would like to see coming down here before claiming 84.5k. Get the stop here, right? You got a little consolidation. If your price moves down in an impulse, boom, 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 right? Get the stop in this region. Once it stops, I will consider the long. I will consider it. If not, you know, because I'm so aware of the bearish case eventually. And don't come with that nonsense that, you know, we shouldn't long. We can definitely long. The last few days were awesome to get into some long positions. Obviously, the later short was the more attractive one in this zone. We can look for longs. We just need to know responsibly what are the best zones and levels. We're moving down now to take out the lows. Price is moving down. Stock market just took out the local highs. Bitcoin wanting to move to the downside. I'm out from the rest of the long position. Yeah, no long positions here as explained, right? There's no long trade to be taken eventually. Shorts, bit difficult to short here, if you ask me. I mean, we were hitting the previous day value area low. Previous day, yeah, trying to get acceptance inside of the previous day value zone, which we end up failing. We ended up failing here, getting acceptance from previous day value zone. I mean, for me, this is, you know, it's not part of my strategy to enter a short here. Maybe we hit VWAP. Not sure if VWAP was there in that area. No, VWAP, we were above the VWAP. Yeah, for me, there's no quick short here. For this to be an SFP, it could end up being an SFP, just because if this is an impulse and this is the correction, an ABC flat is a possibility. We could treat this as an SFP. Could treat that low as an SFP for a flat scenario, where you have zigzag down, zigzag up, zigzag down, and we get a rally here to take out these highs. I mean, that's a possibility for sure. I mean, this would only make this short more interesting. Longs, quick SFP to the low. I mean, the fact that we've moved down here from this being the correction, I have to say, let me just clean up the charts. Very aggressive, quick entry for a long. Wasn't planned for this situation, but I have to acknowledge that it's kind of acceptable. The lows of yesterday for the SFP. Bit of a sniper trade, guys. Not sure if anybody managed to catch that. But I would have to say the main reason why it's an acceptable SFP double bottom is because if this is an impulse from this low and this movement to the upside is you know, I can clearly see it's a three-wave structure. However, this three-wave move to the upside is very, very quick in time. Not crossing the 382 Fibonacci time. So for this to be the end of the correction, to nuke down from here, unfortunately has lower time is obviously, you know, you want to consider timing just to understand if you could form a flat, or instead of breaking down, right? Or you could form a larger complex range. And yeah, the fact that we did not cross the 382 Fibonacci time, which we consider as a minimum target zone based on timing, just so the wave is more symmetrical before you actually get the breakdown. Getting a breakdown from here on a wave 3 as a 1, 2, 3 and then 4, 5 doesn't look too great. And it all has to do with this small little movement. Small little wave here, right? Small wave in time. It's too small, right? If we were to break down here, say we do 3, 4, and 5, you know, I need to consider this wave as either the wave 2 or the wave B. and it's extremely tiny compared to this one, based on time only, okay? Because it did retrace all the way up to 382 already. Yeah, 382 is about right. Preferably, you know, 50%. I don't know. A flat is a possibility. The only way how to trade a flat, a B wave of a flat, is literally looking for the SFP, which is, you know, we're already getting a little bounce of a few $100, nothing too major, but aggressive entry. Obviously, I wouldn't consider the long now. These are sniper trades. Unless you sniper the reaction at the low, entering along here with stop loss here is not the same than entering here and stop loss here, right? You know, your stop loss is, you know, over 3 times the length right now than the original one, right? So, or twice the length. Bit of a sniper trade, guys. Wasn't really prepared for that entry, but I have to say that it does have potential. It does have potential just to continue this range before we actually break down successfully. And the main reason is, if it has potential, then it's possible, right? The main reason is this movement as an impulse. If you have a 3-wave up like this, which is not crossing the 382 Fibonacci time, you can consider it as a too shallow as a wave to start a new individual wave to the downside if you did not cross the 382 Fibonacci time, giving the possibility that the correction might extend a little bit longer. And a flat is a scenario, you know, just considering, you know, just explaining why it would be, you know, it was an acceptable entry down here on this SFP. You need to give your reasons why, because not every SFP, not every low and every high is good for an SFP, right? But this one, I would have, you know, given a valid entry. We're probably going to come down here to the lows and see how the price moves. And, you know, if we say it's a valid SFP, why is it a valid SFP? The main reason it's a valid SFP is because of what I explained. You know, if you have a 3-wave move up here and it's shallow in timing compared to the larger move down, meaning that you know, and you do move down here, this is the leg down, little bounce today, and now this movement down, 3-wave up, 3-wave down, it could have the potential of forming a flat, right? It could have the potential. You know, if the potential is there, the double bottom is, you know, we were not counting on this, guys. We're just taking a look at many other scenarios, but yeah, you could form a flat. Why not? There are reasons to believe that you could. But yeah, it's just really explaining the reason of that SFP, aggressive SFP entry. Well, there's no way in a million years I would long the bounce, guys. You know, if you didn't catch the ultimate low to protect position, it's really not, you know, this is not looking for a long on the bounce here and rushing in the SFP. If you did not catch the low, it's not worth it, just because you will have a much larger stop loss and it's not worth the risk to reward. But does it have potential of bouncing? You know, but the potential is there. However, the trade execution should have been much lower. Well, much lower, a few $100 basically on the reaction at the low. And, you know, it does have the potential. Let's leave it that way. It does have the potential of continuing a bit more sideways, because you have, for the moment, a 3-wave up and a 3-wave down. And this 3-wave up is very, very shallow in time from this wave down that we've had in the last few days. So you need to kind of give it a possibility. But right? Just in case, you know, we need to give the explanation of, would it be a valid double bottom? It is a valid double bottom, just purely based on the possibility of forming a flat. You know, obviously, if we were to get that pump in the next coming days, well, you know, it's likely a flat. If it were to actually rally here in between today and tomorrow, right? If it does end up bouncing here to sweep up the highs, then this becomes a incredibly attractive short, guys. This would be an incredible, you know, if we don't dump from here already, I would, if we were to manage to get the rally to 88.2k, then this is a zone that I would be very interested in shorting without a doubt, because then I would say, okay, you know, it makes sense for this to be the impulse, a flat, and, you know, we end up moving down from here. So yeah, shorts become interesting if we were to rally from here, guys, in a kind of an impulsive move. We'll see. And if not, we roll over, we go down, and 85k region is the zone. Okay, 85k region is the zone to look for new longs. I mean, if anybody that's sniped here and managed to get a good entry, congratulations. It is actually, I would not long where we are at the moment. It's a SFP, you know, flat speculation. If you did not catch the SFP, long in here, the bounce is not worth it. It's not worth it. Because eventually we have, you know, we are moving, we are downtrending, right? Throughout the last couple of days, we are downtrending. So if you're not catching the ultimate level with stop loss at the low of the SFP, getting into the bounce is giving you a much wider stop loss. So take that with a grain of salt, guys. Anybody can do whatever they want, but if you did not manage to catch the lower prices here, longing late is not the best option. Let's go through the comment section. I'm trading the 21 MA currently for a long position on Bitcoin. Let's take a look at that. The 21 weekly moving average, or is that the daily 21 MA? What time frame? I don't use MAs. I don't use them, guys. You know that. But based on structure, this was an acceptable double bottom. It was an acceptable long. Very snipey, very quick, guys. You need to like take action here very, very quick on this scenario. But I would not long the bounce eventually, just because it's not worth it. It's a sniper trade. You need to be like in front of the chart and take the decision here very, very quick. You have less than a minute to take that decision if you want to enter, if you want a good entry, right? Longing now is not worth it based on risk management, and this is a risk management game. Don't FOMO, don't do anything. If you missed that long entry, you don't want to long here just because stop loss is too far away. But we like to give the explanation on why would this be an acceptable double bottom entry. And it all has to do with, if this is the impulsive move to the downside, right, which is this one, and we've had this three-wave structure to the upside right over here, for this to be the top for a big breakdown, it's very, very quick in time compared to the timing of the impulse down. And preferably, I mean, when we do take a look at Fibonacci time, it's not even crossing the 38% time this high. So extending the range to the 1-to-1, which would be in a couple of hours from now. As you can see, this blue vertical line, or even the 1.618, which would be tomorrow morning. It still has time here to maybe range a little bit longer. And, you know, obviously you need an explanation, right? You might think, well, why is this an acceptable entry for an SFP? This bounce is a bit too shallow to really get continuation down aggressively. And you have a 3-wave up and a 3-wave down at the moment. 3-wave up and 3-wave down after an impulse gives you a possibility of a 5-wave move to the upside. There's many examples of this. We got, you know, we talked about these, you know, these different. There's been many flats throughout the last couple of weeks. We had one somewhere in this region. We speculated on this one where we had, you know, there was two scenarios here. We either formed a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And we are looking at the bounce regardless, because a 5th wave is looking for a bounce, most commonly to claim the 4th wave, right? That's if we do consider this as an impulse from this high, right? 1, 2, 3, high volume, 4 and 5. After the 5th wave, we look for the bounce. So, you know, if this was not going to be a 4 and 5, it had the potential as well. I longed late on this one, just because I knew if we overlapped this pivot, that a flat would be the highest probability scenario. And this was a very tricky zone as well, because you probably had a flat here, then a triangle, and then a very quick sharp zigzag up. I mean, yeah, well, I'm not sure who remembers this, but we were speculating on taking out this high after this information. But the main explanation here is because of the flat, right? Where you have 3-wave up, 3-wave down. Is this a good double bottom where either it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or either it's a flat? So this double bottom was interesting to take into consideration, just as an example there. So is this double bottom interesting? Based on the information that we had, you know, it was interesting to look for that, you know, sniper entry. Will it come to fruition? I don't know. Maybe yes, maybe not. But I know there is a possibility of that happening, right? Of getting a higher bounce before continuing to the downside. So we do form a flat here, running flat or regular flat, which takes out this high, and then get the breakdown. You know, it has potential. It has potential. What can we say? Is it going to happen? I don't know. So yeah, if we were to come down back to back test the level, I can consider it. I would consider it if it comes back down to back test to enter. Probably beneath the VWAP right now. Probably tap the VWAP. Yeah. We are downtrending, we have to say. Huh? We are downtrending. So we want to be cautious. Smash up the like button, legends. Happy Christmas Eve. Hopefully Santa is going to bring you a lot of joy, health, and yeah, a great 2026. What can we say? We are going to be here all together for 2026, looking for those epic long live streams and looking for intraday setups. That's what we will do, guys, throughout the entire 2026. Long live streams, New York Open. We did get a little bit of local volatility. S&P 500 hitting new all-time highs, at least on the CME futures. Maybe we are hitting all-time high also already on the SPX. We should be not too far away. Yeah, we're not quite there yet. But yes, all-time highs on the stock market, S&P 500. Merry Christmas from Malta. Much love, legends. Let's go through the comment section. I think it's about a bit of time. Man, no fighting, guys. Merry Christmas from Malta. Absolutely awesome. Guys, no fighting, please, in the comment section. Someone saying here, apologies accepted. Please don't fight, guys. We're here to make love, peace, and be friendly with each other. Staffer one. I'm the child to not let you get in the fight with other. Yeah, real life brother. What's going on? What's going on? Do I need to come in here and, you know, chill out the comment section, guys? I'm dying. Okay, at least don't disrespect people, please, in the comment section. Staffer one knows what he's looking at. Your apologies accepted. Hey, from Chicago, rave song, much love to you. Come on, guys, it's Christmas. No fighting in the comment section. Much love to you, rave song records. Hey, from Chicago. Let's go. So yeah, new shorts. This is the thing today, shorting from here, unless you entered a scalp, if the price decides to move up, then it's like, well, yeah, there's no real proper shorts. I had to say this long was acceptable to enter. I'm not liking the shorts. I want a short from higher because I want a bigger swing, right? Unless you're in a short from the 90k levels a few days ago, I have to stick to my plan here. This, if it is an impulse, if this is a three-wave move up, I need to give a chance for the local bulls at least to maybe only maybe get a five-waver up here, with the possibility of sweeping up the lower highs of yesterday. And that's where I want to enter a short. If we get that rejection right, I want a short and on the rejection here. I'm not sure if I'm going to get it, guys. Maybe not. Maybe I'm not going to get it. But I would be happy to enter a short on the rejection here. I have a valid count. Looking at Elliott Wave Theory, it would be an impulse down here. A flat structure, Santa rally it is, of $1,000. Not much of a rally, but that would be the zone. Rejection from this lower high. This was a quick sniper long entry, guys. I have to say we were not too in the zone to really. I got some people in the comment section said they got into the entry here on the long, and this does have potential of sweeping up the highs of yesterday. It does have the possibility, and only I would be interested in a short on a regular flat, and a regular flat or an expanding flat at least needs to take out the potential A wave, which is this one at 88.3. So I'm not considering any shorts anywhere in this zone, unfortunately. I'm just very much aware that market is ferocious. It's going to sweep lows, going to sweep highs, and then come back down. So the best scenario that I have here to enter a new short position has to be higher, guys. There's no shorts for me, as explained. If you took a short today here, you had to take profit out of the lows because you're literally back at entry right now. So there's no shorts here. No shorts, no shorts, no shorts. The shorts needs to be sweep the highs. Flat structure, impulse down. Okay, cool. We're looking for a movement down, and we need to reject either from this high or from this high. That's at least for me, guys. You can do you. This was an acceptable sniper long, just for a good entry, good risk management. You needed to be quite active and in front of the charts to actually execute that long position. Not an easy one, I have to say. Let's go continue through the comment section. Thanks for smashing up the like button and enjoying and being around and joining today here this Christmas Eve, guys. Much love to everybody. Okay, much love to everybody here in the comment section. Mark Dutch, Merry Christmas to you, brother. Much love. Mark Dutch, the legend. Merry Christmas, man. Hope you're doing well. Baby Genius, Merry Christmas, gents. Cheers to y'all as well. Cheers, cheers. Hope you have a fantastic Christmas Eve, Baby Genius. Everybody here. Hi from Spain. Hi from Spain. Great channel. From Spain? From Spain. Thank you very much. Gary, much love to you. Much love to you. Daily time frame, 21 MA on Bitcoin long currently. Absolute legend. Daily time frame, 21 MA. You know that I'm not a moving average fan, but I am just curious about that 21 daily moving average. Let's take a look at that, because I have someone in the comment section saying that he's longing the 21 moving average on the daily. That needs to be checked. I don't use moving averages. I did in the past, but I just don't need them really. But they work for some people. Why not? Not because I don't use them doesn't mean that you can't use them. EMA, right? MA moving average 21 on the daily. Man, I don't even know how to put it on, right? Is this it? This can't be it. The daily time frame 21. Simple moving average. SMA, EMA. I'm getting all this wrong, guys. You know, I don't even know how to put a moving average on the chart. This is like how this is a proof that I don't use this. I don't use it. Teach me how to put moving averages on the chart, because I don't have no clue. But these 21 EMAs or SMAs on the daily, they're above the price action. That was a nice, interesting rejection on this 21 EMA. Yeah, I don't use moving averages. You can see that. I think you did it right. Much love. Yeah, I don't use moving averages, guys. It's just not part of my trading strategy, part of my analysis. I don't use RSI, moving averages, MACD. What else? MACD. There's so many different things. I don't have the money flow, right? I don't have market cipher B or market cipher A. We don't use Divine Hood. Is in the hood. 200 MA on the 5 minute, says Meme Cat. Merry Christmas, Philip. Much love to you. Crypto Gardenist, much love. Absolutely awesome to see some people joining the stream today. Over 500 people on Christmas Eve. That is phenomenal, guys. Okay, just leave them alone. They are such a BS. Oh. You have Patron. Much love, Mark Dutch from Divine Hood. Divine Hood is a legend. Is an absolute legend. He's very, very good technical analyst. He also has a channel, but I'm not sure if that is his channel. If it is, go and check him out, guys. Andy, my man, Ramsey, how are you? Much love. and happy Christmas or happy holidays. How about footprint? Yeah, I like to check the footprint sometimes, the delta. I like to see if there is a lot of shorts entering at certain levels, such as this for an SFP. It's nice to see, 7-8 million short positions entering here at the lows, which, obviously has a natural reaction here. I like to check here if shorts are entering at the lows or longs are entering at the highs, at levels of resistance or support, because it eventually gives you a good chance of the price, getting that reversal and trapping them, right? It literally traps people when it creates liquidity to the upside. The bad sign is always looking for, if there's long positions at the lows, then it actually has more probabilities in rolling over if you get a few longs entering here at the lows. So delta, I do check it sometimes just to see if there is any trap positions. CVD divergence as well. I do think that CVD is very powerful also, to see absorption on the market. Someone asking here if I'm using footprint. I don't use footprint that much, if I'm honest. What about CVD right now? Can you check CVD divergence? Are we getting any bullish, bearish? It's nice that we got this aggressive move down. We can't do anything right now regarding local bullish CVDs, just because we've just claimed the recent lows. And CVD divergence, preferably we check them from the last 24 to 48 hours. That's the more powerful CVD that we can check. And yeah, apparently we had lots of shorts entering the market here on this drop, which is nice. We've seen quite a bit of longs entering here as well, but no bearish CVDs. I mean, the drop has been pretty aggressive. Yeah, and unfortunately we had bearish CVDs here locally. Okay, this is why we one of the reasons as well you could add that we took this low is because on Bybit, cheeky Bybit was creating higher highs on the CVD, as you can see here, and we were forming lower highs on the price action, right? Price action was forming lower highs in the yellow, which is Bybit. There were longs entering on Bybit. We can actually see it here on the delta. Which is 5 million long here, 2 million long here, 17 million long here just a few hours ago. Yeah, longs entering here on Bybit throughout the last few hours, creating obviously that higher highs on the CVD, lower highs on price action, ultimately looking to take out the recent low that we've just taken now. So yeah, it's a complete reset right now. So this does not count because that's already played out, right? If you've had bearish CVD divergence forming, the target is the low. Once the low is claimed, it's a reset. So you don't take this into consideration anymore. You need new information here to consider, another higher high and lower highs. Okay, bearish CVD here, right? Higher highs on CVD, lower highs on price action. We're probably going to take up the low again. So this is a complete reset of CVD at the moment for new bearish ones. And there's no bullish ones eventually because you need higher lows on price action and lower lows on CVD. So we don't have higher lows at the moment. So yeah, CVD right now is not going to do much as we just claimed the low. A few hours ago, we could have said, okay, we got bearish CVDs here, guys. Stay cautious. There's people longing here at the lows, wanting to push the price further up. We could claim this low, which was the case, but we were just not taking a look at CVD then. Legends, Merry Christmas. Hope you have a great Christmas with family, friends, and, you know, your best wishes come, you know, true for 2026. Spend time with friends, family, learn a new skill, keep healthy, keep fit, have motivation for something. We are going to be around. We'll be sticking around. Everyone like the stream, says Kashmiri. Much love to you. Hi, bro. Different websites are different price on CDF and Forex. It's so confusing and difficult to trust. You test your strategy on TradingView, and when it creates a live account, then it's completely different. I'm not sure what you're talking about here. Oh, okay. Yeah, CDFs. I don't trade CDFs. You know, trade futures, Bitcoin mainly. But yeah, Forex, CDF on and Forex. Don't trade Forex. Could we get SFP on the S&P 500? S&P 500 swing failure pattern from the highs. I mean, the stock market is, you know, at least on the CME futures, it is. We have all-time high on the CME. On the CME, we have taken out the all-time high of November already. So we already are all-time high on CME. But on the SPX, I think you're probably looking at the SPX here to see if we can SFP from this all-time high. Yeah, stock market is bullish. New all-time highs for Christmas Eve on the stock market as well. S&P 500. This is the daily. This is the 4-hourly time frame. You know, I would not go against the stock market here. I personally would not go against it as an SFP from here. This is definitely tomorrow. The market is closed as well, so I would not consider this as a short currently. Merry Christmas, legends. Oh man, I'm gonna have to drink a couple of beers, my man. Thanks for the super chat, brother. Hope you're doing absolutely phenomenal. Mark Dutch is the moderator of the moderators. He's been since the beginning of the channel, guys, when I had 1,000 subscribers back in 2020. He's been from the very, very start. Much love to you, my man. Hope you have a fantastic Christmas and you enjoy with family and friends. Feliz Navidad. All right, legends. Is there a Christmas giveaway, buddy? I didn't actually plan for a Christmas giveaway. But I should do one. We might do a live stream tomorrow, and let's do a giveaway. Why not? I think a giveaway is something that we should do without a doubt for Christmas. Let me plan a giveaway, and we'll probably do a quick live stream tomorrow. Nice one. Not just because I haven't got anything planned now. I want to plan something for a giveaway. But it's time to give back for Christmas. And tomorrow is Christmas Day, so let's see if we can squeeze in a stream tomorrow, even though I've got a pretty busy day because it's Christmas, going to a few events. Hi Andy, hope you and everyone in chat has a Merry Christmas and Merry Time, legends. Andy will be drunk and on half a pint. Not today, man. I haven't drinking anything for quite a bit right now, actually. It's been a few weeks. Awesome. Much love to you. Happy Christmas, Andy. Thanks for teaching so much. Vincent, much love to you, my man. Thank you very much for the kind words. Bitcoin just swept the lows. Little reaction. I would prefer, as mentioned, shorts from any of this zone. This was a very quick snipey SFP. There's no longs really here for me to be taken, guys, or any new shorts. For me, shorts need to be either SFP from this high with the flat potential and then roll over. And for new longs, yeah, we need to get down to the low 85k zone. Maybe if we back test, come down to this zone and get a little reaction here, Could consider it. Could consider it. Could consider it. Legends, much love to everybody. Thank you very much for joining the stream today. I know Mango Kush, better than alcohol. Absolutely. Absolutely. This guy's a legend. He knows what he's talking about. Choose a chart with lots of volume and trade one in front of you. Exactly. Exactly. I'm with you on this one. Finally, nice advice, sir, from Meme Cat. Much love. Feliz Nadal from Merdiezi CDF. Feliz Nadal. Much love to everybody. Guys, hope you have a fantastic Christmas Eve. Little local volatility, little SFP from the lows. We cannot expect big moves, really, can we? You know, stock market will be closing in a few hours. We're still probably going to be ranging. Zones of interest for me for a short, I've explained them today. Whoever sniped the lows here, I would not long here on the bounce. If we come back down to back test, I would consider, just because stop loss would be very, very small. And if we break down, we need to get down to the low 85k levels, and then we can speculate on a few scenarios. For new shorts, I'm not entering any shorts where we at here, or any longs. If the price does decide to rally in a 5-wave structure, we do have a flat possibility. Impulsive move down, possible flat here. I mean, it would be nice to, you know, get into a new short position, and a new short would be SFP of one of these lower highs. New longs, maybe if we come down to revisit the lows of yesterday as a back test, maybe I would consider the entry there. Tight stop loss, not too much. And if we lose it, then I'm looking for the low 85k levels, right? I'm not going to be in any longs here or adding to long positions or any of that nonsense, guys. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. So let's wait to see where the price is tomorrow, or potentially for the next day, right? For Friday, we're definitely doing a live stream on Friday. It's the 26th. It is Boxing Day. I'm not sure if the markets are closed on the 26th, but we would have to do a live stream. And we're very likely going to do a live stream then. Interesante. Coming down maybe. Well, price just looking quite weak. It is looking weak. People that entered here maybe are going to get stopped out at break even if they attempted the SFP. Sometimes the price really likes to back test the level as well. It creates a cheeky back test. So if you come down and, you know, create a little bit of a reaction here, let's take a look at Delta. Lots of shorts entering here. Yeah, a little bit skeptical on the back test. A little bit skeptical on the back test for an entry. The SFP, preferably when you SFP, you really kind of want to go. When you SFP and you come back down, back test is possible, but it's just not the greatest. Not the greatest. Legends, I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for joining today's stream. Hopefully everybody has a fantastic Christmas Eve, and we'll be back with more eventually, talking about the other scenarios. No major high probability trade here. If anybody attempted the SFP, going to get stopped out at break even in this zone, considering the back test is, you know, considering the back test is possible. Not the greatest trade, I have to say. Not the greatest trade here. We obviously quite downtrending here, so we want to be a little bit cautious. Let's call it a day, and let's see where the price is in the next, you know, next 1 to 2 days, right? I'm not sure if I will do a stream tomorrow. I might do a stream just for the sake of it tomorrow, guys. But you know, the levels of interest that I have is either here. I'm not sure if we're going to get that move, and if we break down the low 85k zone is where I want to see the price holding. Let's see. But yeah, it seems like we're back testing. Well, we're touching the SFP level, so it might get a reaction bounce here, but not the best trade. Not the best trade, at least for me anyway. Legends, thank you very much for joining today. Have an awesome Christmas Eve. Make sure to smash up the like button. Thank you for subscribing. We'll be back with much more eventually in the next coming days. Enjoy the holidays, enjoy friends. Remember, if you want to support the channel, you've got affiliate links down below. You've got the platforms such as Velto. You do have Bluffin. You do have the affiliate links down below, which giving you great bonuses. On Bluffin, there is a $1,000 deposit bonus that you get if you deposit 7k, and it just requires an email and a password on Bluffin. Okay, you have BTC and many other cryptos. Thank you very much for supporting, smashing the like button. Happy Christmas, and I will see you very, very soon. Thank you, legends. Take care.